Hey, what's up, guys? Been kind of busy lately, but so got delayed a little bit. This actually happened almost a week ago, um, but I kind of want to talk about a few matches in here and just some things in general. So so anyway, we got a this was a great matchup with MoistAvengers. We knew they were going to be tough, and they definitely were. We had an advantage in terms of just pure numbers. It was like 48 or something versus like 43. I think we had like five people extra. Um, and those 30 flags definitely came into play. I think we both did two resets if I remember correctly, and I actually maybe yeah I think it was two resets each. But we had more flags at the end so that we scored a little more. So the final score came out to be a little more lopsided than it actually was in terms of how the war played out. Because it was like we were neck to neck all the way to like I think it was like 12,000 versus 12,000. Like 13. I think 13 versus 13. So it was close all the way through. So this first guy faced Xiao Chen. So he's probably Chinese or something, at least. I hope. He put in the Chinese name in there. So I thought the defense was okay. I could have gone either anti or yellows. And I thought the reason I went with yellows is because his Idritha was, I think it was 200, level 200, if I remember correctly. So I really wanted to take her out first so that I don't get, just one-shotted left and right. But I think if you want to use Idritha, you probably want to put in at least another purple. So there's some, I think her plus, I believe it's like +1, right? I think it's a +1 awakening allows her to gain mana whenever other purples use their skill or something. So, like maybe change up the formation too. Two yellows flanking Midas might be good. I don't know, depending on how like what other heroes this guy has. But I think that's probably a slightly better defense than this. But again, this is not like a super easy defense either, because Midas and Malfoy are really tough to kill in what's it called? Revolt for Courage. And actually, Yellow Team is quite OP now. I think I've said this before. And, for anyone who's listening, you should really work on your Yellow Team, because later in the campaign stages, there are just a lot of dark bosses that you have to go through. So having a strong Yellow Team will definitely speed up your progress, in my opinion. Anyway, like I've just pretty much used this Yellow Team to go through like everything on 32, I think, because I was kind of stuck there right around when Zeus and Staff of Nea came out. So once I got those two things, or got Zeus and the staff, campaign got super easy. But yeah, like I got mad respect for people who finished the campaign before Zeus and Staff of Nea. I mean, like some of those stages I can see being pretty difficult without a solid Yellow Team, or like a Yellowstone generator or generating weapon. So kudos to those guys. And oh yeah, and then for Sky Road too, Yellow Team is really strong. I use this team to finish a lot of stages, a lot of defenses, and it's quick too because of how much damage you can output, you know, in bursts basically. I have Mary's exclusive on Agatha, and then I have the Smoldering Core, Fiona's exclusive on Zeus. And my Staff of Nea came with plus mana from stones. So I put that on Ruby and Rose. So and they just keep on charging over and over again. Basically every turn I fire again, and then I fill the board with yellows or lightning stones, and then charge again. So it's pretty amazing. This next team, Bishop. So I actually targeted this team with my greens, just mostly due to how he stacked two blues on one side. So I thought that I can, I can take advantage of that a little bit. I don't like hitting Palmera defenses. I'm having, I think, hitting Napala's defense in arena gave me nightmares. He actually took out my attack team 1v4 a couple times with Palmera, but he has a +5 Palmera, so that's sick. I mean, so sick. It's just it makes me like sad when I get into a point where everyone else is dead and I have Palmera left, and then she's just one-shotting every one of my heroes, and then and then she's like fully healed. I'm just like, oh, come on, that's not right. And I think one thing that they can make is so she's more balanced. I wouldn't say she's not balanced. I think you can really, there are ways to deal with her. I think one way is to use Zanya, just so that she never fires, and then using greens is definitely another way, obviously. But I think if they made it so that her that damage reduction buff is dispellable, I think that's fair. Like, yeah, it's quite annoying because you can almost never one-shot a Palmera. So, I mean, like those highly awakened ones, anyway. So yeah. Anyway, back to this defense a little bit. I like this. I think what he's going for is this Ranger synergy for Sigmund, but I kind of don't like the way they're positioned. But I think it's probably a little better if those two blues were flanking Malfort. So you actually split them, and then Malfort protects them from getting hit by stones. So the only way to get rid of them would be skill damage. For the most part, at this level of war, you should expect everyone else to be stacking a color against you, and then they're gonna have at least some kind of energy or energizing weapon, if not the whip, a maxed whip. So they're starting with 60% mana. And some kind of Neo weapon. So chances are attacking team will fire first. So I don't know. I don't think stacking, stacking three on defense, three of some same color on defense is just not going to work anymore at this level of play, I think. So two might be okay if you can somehow protect them a little bit. But it's still not ideal. Obviously there are way better defenses out there than mine, and people can make some, if you can. I think the toughest defenses out there are like heavy shield. At least to me, like I have a hard time going through some of those. Another thing in general with MoistAvengers, I think a lot of their defenses didn't use energizing weapon, and I don't know if that's by choice or just like they ran out of time and didn't equip. I think that's a mistake. You really need to get the energizing weapon on, even though one of your heroes will have overload, but it speeds up like everyone on your defense. So you're not sitting duck. Take this green team I use here. Like I pretty much got rolling and then charged. I took out two, and then I was charged again, and then and it was pretty much over by turn, like, I don't know, turn 7 or 8. If you don't have an energizing weapon on defense, you're barely charged by turn 7 or 8, you know. So you gotta gotta get that energizing weapon on defense. So this next team, I think I went after their leader. Again, yeah, like I think he did not have energizing weapon on, if I remember correctly, and not a lot of shielding either. So that's kind of a strange setup. Because I mean, I think this team, like this, the way it's set up, it could be quite annoying if it's heavily shielded and faster. Because I know Garabeth, shielding doesn't prevent her from counterattacking, unlike Colette. Because if you shield all your reds on Colette, or with the Colette team, then she's not going to counterattack. But Garabeth doesn't have that problem, you know. So this is what I'm talking about, right? So I made like what, a couple moves here, and I'm all charged up, and the only hero he has charged is Garabeth, and I just took out Garabeth, and you know the rest of his heroes are basically sitting duck at this point. I mean, that's the importance of energizing weapon, because you know if he had energizing weapon at this point, then he's at least fighting back. You know what I mean? So, like, this match is about to be over. Like, I think once I take out Irelia, there's nothing more like he's not gonna be able to take me out. The only chance he has is essentially to stall and then by turn. But I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. So, and I think I waited for the shield to go off, but I think Malfoy fired there, so he really got a little bit of shield going on. And I waited one more turn to get Elmis going, so that I can have multiple. Oh, and I waited for Jane to go off so that I can dispel that, get a lot more purples on the board, and then go after Irelia. And you know, once I get rid of Irelia, then it's done. It's kind of unfortunate that I didn't get rid of the Rune Shield. So I think I just got rid of Jane, because I know that that's going to be enough to take out Jane. And then just look for my next match. So, I think I've mixed up using Haito and Midas with this team. And I mean, there's some benefits to using each one. I like Haito because he can, when the board is really bad, he can kind of cycle the board a little bit. But I like Midas for the shield. It's kind of like additional healing. And I actually, so lately after this war, I've changed up my this team a little bit. I took out Mary and put in Xania, and I think that opened up like the types of team I can target with this team. So usually I try to stay away from teams with one like with a scary hero that I can't, you know, like I don't want to go off. But with Xania on the team, I can, you know, basically mana control that hero and then still use this team. Like the overall damage output is not as much, but I think it's actually more effective now. And that's a really good team for Tower of Eternity. Yeah, and I recently finished the spirit portion of it. Yeah, those last few levels were pretty rough for me at least. I think 49 was the toughest for me. 50 actually wasn't too bad because I actually had the teams for it. So, yep, 49. Tower of Spirit 49. When you get there, it kind of, the mechanics made it's kind of like you have to change up the style of play a little bit. So, I won't spoil it too much. So, try it when you get there. You'll see what I'm talking about. So pretty good so far. So we were able to reset them right here, after slightly, a little bit after this, and then I think I came back for actually. I think this is after the second reset. So they're in the process of resetting this for the second time, and we just reset them. And then I was talking to Slower about taking on these two teams. They had the identical defense, but one had a 150 Colette and instead of 180, and I think the weapons were slightly better on the bigger target too. So I told him I'll take on the easier one because his anti-team is slightly better than mine. And then yeah, I mean, like anytime you have a really heavily stacked defense, you can go in and just take advantage of that with model team, especially if it's one, like it. I think you can still probably stack yellows a little bit on defense, just because there aren't any stone generating weapons or so yet. So like a purple team will have to somewhat rely on the luck of, like the RNG of the board to get going. But once they get going, like most people have Elmis by now, so. Like just stacking is not that great in general on defense. So I think I got rid of Colette first because I know Colette is only 150. And then it's kind of annoying, but Garabeth went off. I didn't bring what's her name, Palmera, because I don't. I want to use her for my what should I call it? The Sigma team. So I'll have to deal with the counters. Luckily, she didn't hit very hard. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what causes Garabeth to hit so hard. I think it's the weapon. Some people have put on like maybe the Guardian Tower or some kind of attack stacking weapon, and some of those Garabeth, she counters so hard that it's crippling to your attacking team. So I think Slower also finished that other guy 1-1 shot. So, and my initial target was taken by Fluffy. He ninja'd him, ninja'd my target. Anyway, so I used the same team and then went after another double green defense, and that was my mistake. I should have taken some time to look through. I think I overlooked the fact that this was in the Rune Shield, so I actually didn't even bring a Dispeller for some reason. Just ugh. That's just total brain fart. I remember I made a mistake here too, playing. So I knew that I want to go after what's her name? Isadora, yeah. And then I wanted to get everyone charged without setting off Malford. And then at this point, I was waiting for the initial 5 turns to go past so that I can get rid of the shield. I don't have to go through the shield. So here's my chance. But I forgot that Wukong wasn't charged. So I planned for the Wukong hit, and then so I came up really short. Just a little bit short. And I think that's the match, basically. So yeah, that was a total mistake. So yeah, at this point, I don't think I have enough to go through this defense. And then Jane is, like a different kind of annoying without the spell. So that it's this is just basically player error, operator error on my part. Um, I, I think I ended up fleeing this one. So anyway, so I'll talk a little bit about Sky Road. Yeah. So I think they actually clarified that the what is it called, the tiebreaker for everyone who scores the same total points at the end is the number of turns. I think it's like the second or third criteria, but I mean that's basically what it's going to be. Um, and I found out the hard way that they've made some kind of like turn multiplier, I think, for fleeing as well. So because I know like most of my matches ended in like less than 5 turns, and I had like one that went to 11, and then I had a couple at 9, and then like a few more 7 to 9 in that range. So I think my average is right about 5 to 6 turns. And I talked to some of my alliance mates, and they thought they were a little higher than that. But I know that I farmed the board a little bit, so I think I fled maybe somewhere around 40 times overall, like through like the 30 matches. I probably fled about 40 times. 40 times. Most of it for my purple team, because I need like 5 purple stones to get going, and they have to be near each other, right, so that I can to get them going. So I usually just like for my pro team, I would farm like maybe 2-3 times for a match. So like if I do that, sometimes I didn't. So maybe that's like 30. And then for the other ones, I probably fled like maybe once every like maybe 2-3 islands, because whenever you have a weapon, you really don't need to flee, because like the board's going to be flooded with the stones you want anyway. So anyway, I ended up being the last out of everyone who finished with the same score. So my guess is they give you like a like X amount of deduction every time you flee. Like maybe like 10 turns. Like every time you flee, that counts as 10 turns or something like that. That's kind of like how I saw the score. So don't flee. Just work the board, and then hopefully you win the match and don't lose any heroes. Because if you do lose a hero, like you do want to flee at that point, because you're not going to score the same points if you lose a hero. So flee when you lose a hero. Other than that, don't flee at all, because whenever you flee, they're gonna increase the number of turns based on you fleeing. Oh yeah, so this match is still going. I probably should sped up this match. It's just me. This is just me hoping for whatchamacallit, hoping for when they hit me, like Midas hit me, and I counter the bleep out of him, and he dies or something. But no, it never happened. So I think this is going to go on for a little bit. I ended up fleeing because I probably fled a little too late too, because I think I have at one point got both Morella and Idritha down to below 50%. And then I think Isadora too. It was like something pretty low. I think it's slightly lower than this. Maybe this is what I remember. Yeah, I just remember it was like about halfway past their HP. So I should have fled at this point, but nope. I think this is probably it. This is probably the best time to flee, but I didn't. I wanted to hit one more time, and then they healed back up. So anyway, uh, yeah, I think I still didn't flee. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was probably thinking, oh, yeah, it's already worse than before. So what the heck? Let's keep on going. Yeah, that's terrible. But yeah, that was just a terrible match. I probably should have went back and actually cleaned up my mess. I left a mess there. I think someone, I don't know if someone actually cleaned that up, but anyway, my last team is kind of like a ranger setup. And I think I was like debating who I should bring for a while. And I think I ended up taking out Alden, if I remember correctly, or maybe not. I think that's what I went with. I didn't even use Zach for some reason. Probably should put him in. So I'm actually really debating if I should work on Sonora. She's actually not bad now with you know, being average and all. Because with this team, if I use Sonora, you know, like, and Zach, it's gonna be like, you know, Zach's gonna go off. But then, you know, like, I wouldn't have someone to hold a whip. Maybe I'll take out Palmera and then build a, you know, separate team with her. Someone with a whip, and then, you know, because what's gonna happen is when you have energizing weapon, you can use essentially one match, and you got Zach going, and that's, you know, one skill. And then Sigmund, and then, you know, that's two skills already. So your Sonora is going to be at maximum efficiency or maximum hit power, and I think she does quite a bit of damage too. But you can't really use her for rune shield. I think she only hits once. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably bring her to 150 at some point and just try it out. So that team might work. I don't know. I think I brought what's her name? I brought Cassandra so that I can dispel the mana generation reduction from the survivor. And I forgot. This is not rune shield, right? Yeah, this is not rune shield. So I got rid of. I actually went after Ital first. I think he's actually more annoying than anyone else here, because just how fast he charges, and then he also gives everyone else mana. So I think Alden's gonna take care of him. I think Alden is amazing on offense, you know, but I don't have a good team for him yet. I have to figure something out. I think he needs to be on a red heavy team. Like, I don't want him to just be like a stone mover. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to actually do significant damage with those stones. Use them outside of rune shield. Those stones will probably kill like a green hero from 100% HP. If you hit all, you know, like a whole line of stone on a hero, that's probably enough. Because each stone's gonna do about like I'm guessing maybe 100, you know, a little over 100, 200 damage. So yeah, if you had two lines, so that's about 2,000. Yeah, that's enough to probably kill a hero. So yeah, you know, work on a team for Alden. And I think this is going to be it for this team. Man, I'm not getting any luck with the mana recharge. Okay, so oh, maybe I'm thinking the crits. So hitting the week only did like 81 crit. So maybe you will crit for like probably 200 or no, actually it's gonna be 4 times as much on a green. So yeah, that's about right. So yeah, like probably average about 200. Yeah, non crit. So anyway, this was a really nice war. So thanks for watching.